All right. Nick Ryker, my friend, what's up, dude? How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Great.
Monday.
It's Monday, but you were fresh off of a race weekend.
Yeah.
So you kind of told me, like, I'm thinking this is what I'm going to do. I might hit this DEKAFIT Jacksonville. And you're like, but I'm not going to tell anybody. Were people super surprised that you did the race?
I mean, I didn't know a ton of people down there. Yancey knew, and Jay, like the DEKA team, but like I didn't know any of the athletes down there personally. They didn't know me either, so I don't think anybody was surprised. Nobody came up and said "whoa" or anything like that.
No one really cared.
Yeah.
That's fine. But you ran the race and you won the race, so that's super exciting. So I mean, this is a pretty big step because last time we talked on the podcast, we're talking about kind of like your recovery coming back from UC and what you thought your timeline was going to be and where it kind of actually turned out to be. But this is a great first step, man. You're actually able to get out and race. So how are you feeling about just being able to race?
I mean, like I said on the podcast, it's like such a privilege. Like after I finished, I was like, I could have finished dead last, and I was just so happy to be back out there to feel my body just push. I cried a little bit after I finished because, like, man, there's a lot of emotions just came over me. But like, I'm just happy. I haven't felt this happy in a long time. And a lot of crappy things have happened this year, and it could have been a lot worse. A lot of things happened, but I mean, like I said on my Instagram, it just feels good to feel good again.
Back at it, man. I'm psyched for you. So let's actually talk about the race itself then. Let's just kind of get into the nuts and bolts of it because this was your first DEKAFIT. This is only the fourth DEKAFIT ever. So you've done a DEKA strong, I believe, but haven't done any other of the DEKA events. So what was kind of the idea going into it? What were you thinking about in terms of strategy?
I'm gonna be honest. I wanted to keep my runs around 140 to 150. I thought if I did that would be a good showing. But the stations, I didn't really have much of a strategy for them. I knew like the form I wanted to do, but I didn't have like a goal time for them. And then like I was talking to like Jared, who's part of DEKA. Jared, you know what's his last name?
Coswell.
I told him, man, I really just have like one gear when it comes to like these kind of races, and it's just go. And he got me all fired up about that, saying, yeah, you just got to go. I kind of knew, I mean, I picked a weekend to race that a lot of people are racing other places. So I kind of knew I had a good shot of winning this and kind of winning early. So I wanted to get out and push hard those first couple runs in those stations. That was my goal. Like the first 3 or 4 stations, really push the runs and get out, just to build up the comfortable lead for me.
And that seems to be what you did. You said you wanted to keep your runs between 140 and 150, but your first run was 130 in Ryker style. Just being like, hey, you know what? I was thinking about pacing it, but then I decided not to pace it. So I just went out and hit it hard. So did that feel okay?
I really didn't look at my watch till after the assault bike run. I didn't look at any of the splits. I just wanted to go. Some guy went out in front of me, and I was like, this is my race. I'm going to lead wire to wire. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to do at that moment. Like there was a moment in me, like, I don't care if somebody goes out, but then once it started, I was like, okay, I want to lead the whole way. So things like that changed. I mean, the first one, I mean, felt fine. And then it's a learning experience. You start getting in a rhythm after that.
Because it looks like you hit the lunges pretty hard too. Like 41 seconds for the reverse lunges is pretty fast. It doesn't get too much faster than that, really. So did you pick that up and did you start? Was there any were you thinking about pacing it at all through that? Or just like, let's just go, let's go.
So I practice. I do a ton of reverse lunges. I practice the form I wanted to do. So I know that would be a strong one. And I say I didn't have a strategy, but I had a strategy. I went before the race. I went to every station and I picked out, all right, I'm going to go to that. I'm going to go to that ram roller. I'm going to go to that one. I'm going to go to that assault bike. Like I already changed everything how I want it. And like my strategy, so I wanted to enter left into all the stations. So like when I'm done, I can just do a beam line. I have to, like, if you enter right, you kind of have to slow down and curve yourself around the corner. If you can picture what I'm talking about, I kind of want to just throw it off my shoulder and just go straight.
That's interesting. I did the opposite. I ran straight into the Deka zone. So like wherever I was approaching. So it would be like entering and going right, just so I could keep my momentum running straight to like whatever station it was. And then once I was done with the station, I would come out and whip around. I guess just thinking that I wouldn't have a ton of momentum built up after the station, but who's to say what's better or not? Because I did come out of the stations a couple times, like almost like peeling out, almost like turning so hard. So I could see how it would be beneficial to like whip that U-turn almost right from the start. Did people follow you, or because you were leading each time, would people just kind of come next to you, or did it kind of?
It seemed like a lot of people did your way. They would go straight into it. I always did the beam line to the left. Mark Falcon, I call him Falcon. I kept calling him Falcon the whole time. He was loving it. He went right next to me pretty much all the stations. Yeah. So like we were the top two, so like we went to the left, and everybody else kind of went away from us.
So right after those lunges, then you were kind of right back on the paces that you wanted to be, where you were kind of settling more into that 440, which is like 520-ish pace, 525, 526 pace. And you kind of seem to settle in there, but you were leading as you sat in on the rower. You were already winning. Were you able to hit that rower hard, or were you just kind of? So
the transition time on my watch is 2 minutes, but I probably did my row like in 145. I was rowing like at one point under 140, and I don't know if I've actually ever done that. Like an entire like 100-meter stretch. Like it did that, and it felt fine. I'm like stroke rate was still like 28 to 30, which that's kind of like what I train, like high 20s, low 30. So yeah, the rower went really well for me. I just got my foot stuck in the clips. I kind of panicked and didn't like try to loosen them first. So that's why I think my transition time was so fast. But the rower, like I was surprised. I know I'm a good one, but I was just surprised myself how fast I went, like dipping under a 140, and it felt comfortable.
That's great. I mean, I'd imagine that's about as fast as anyone will really need to go in that. I can't imagine in DEKAFIT anyone hitting like 130 and then being able to come out and run. I mean, maybe Hunter could do it, but like even still, like it's pretty fast to be like 130, 135. So if you're hovering around 140, 141, 142, like no one's going to really put too much of a gap on you. But that transition probably would matter with this shit. And it looks like your run came out and felt pretty good. And at the first two, you're kind of cruising. Yeah,
I felt totally fine. Like, I wasn't even looking at my watch when I came in to hit my split. I just felt like I'm in the lead. I feel comfortable. My biggest fear when I race, I don't want to look down at my watch and be like, whoa, I'm way too fast, because I'll panic. If I'm in the lead and I feel comfortable, there's really no reason for me to look at my watch, I feel like.
That's a good point. Because I in these hybrid races, I wear my watch, but I almost never hit the splits. Never, like I never think to do it in those moments. I'm just like too worried about getting in and out. And even if I'm looking at it, I'm still not sure what the context is of what it all means, because the pacing is not on point. I'm not in a place that I'm going to be doing math. Not in these races. So you're in the live stream, your box jump overs. This is the way that Forrest Bogue was doing his too.
Yeah.
It almost seems illegal.
Well, how? Because you're tall.
No, because it's not because you're so tall. You're like regular size.
I know. I'm just so athletic.
It just looked like you were just. It was so easy that it wasn't even fair. That because it's like you step up and then it's almost like you skip over. So it looks like you don't have 2 feet on the box at the same time. And
you don't have to at the same time.
I think you do have to touch.
Yancey told us. He said you just have to have them both touch. He even showed us that strategy kind of like in our briefing. He said they don't have to be on there at the same time.
Okay.
So if you're doing it that way, guys, you need a slower.
Okay. Because my way was real slow. I was stepping like up and over, and then like that skipping and kind of like doing it the way that you were doing it is definitely faster. So your box jump overs are pretty quick too. Is that taxing to do it like that, or does that feel okay?
No, I felt fine. I feel like jumping over is obviously way more taxing, but you see some people that kind of like go in a circle, like they step and then they're just like in a midi circle on their own box, and that has to be the most taxing way because you're getting dizzy, and then you're not in a rhythm, I feel like.
So you got through those, still in the lead. Your pacing seems to be going pretty well. After the box jumps, it was a little bit slower. It looks like you dropped that down to like 539-ish range, which still is like you're still hanging on. You're still where you want to be.
I was in my goal range.
And you're kind of in control at this point. And those first 3 zones, it's more of a trap just that will like blow you up. Like you're not going to win the race there. It's just, but you could certainly
lose it.
You could certainly kill yourself, right? Yeah. And then the med ball sit-ups, what were you thinking going into that? Did they have like, were you just like, I don't know? Because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with these.
No, I got there a little early to practice like my form, but it's like the end of the day, it's nothing. I actually think I did a really good job because of my arms. I kind of just, I didn't have to throw it much, you know? I just had to like touch it and then go back. Yeah, that's another one. Unless you're just like, I don't know, you drop the ball a bunch. There's not a lot of ground made up there at all.
No, and that's what it looked like. Mark did drop it once, like when he was fumbling with his a little bit. And he's a little bit shorter too. Yeah. So he looked like he was fumbling. I don't know if you gained any or lost any ground on him.
Yeah, I dropped one like right on my face. Like I hit like the halfway point and like it just slipped out of my hand and just went right to my face.
Right to the dome.
Yeah, concussion.
It's okay. Just out. Concussion protocol. Got stuck you back in the game. You're fine. You're good to go. And that's right. That like there is no real ground to be made up there. I guess
your core definitely gets burned.
And that's and then it's leading into another core intensive exercise. So then your pacing is still kind of right around 150 after that. So are you feeling fatigued at all after that as you're running?
Yeah. I'm starting to feel like, all right, my kind of like a side stitch I remember and like slowing down a lot. But then in my back of my head, like, yeah, Yancey said go set the world record, but I was like, I'm not going to set the world record today. I'm here to win.
Today? When are you going to set it then?
Oh, like whenever, the next time I want to.
Just out in practice?
Yeah. Yeah, some guy has it.
Guy has it.
My mindset was like, I just want to win today, get some confidence. So my run started dropping, but it was still a faster run than anybody in the field. So I wasn't getting worried at all.
Right. It wasn't like a matter of like needing to press super hard. It was about managing the effort, managing where you were in terms of the actual race itself. So into the ski erg, this to me is like where it really does get real.
Yeah.
How was it?
I didn't feel good my form's bad on it. I don't have access to a ski erg at my gym I work at. And since I'm under a non-compete, I can't go to any other gym that has it technically. Like under my contract.
Really? You can't work out at other gyms?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So like I've just been watching a lot of video of it and doing like on the bands and like air skiing. But I mean, it's just different when there's actual resistance there. I look back on the live feed and I'm doing like this whooping motion with my arm, and I don't think that's good for like
on the recovery. Like kind of. Sometimes people do that when Lauren Weeks does it that way.
Yeah. But it didn't, I don't know. I feel like it just wasn't pretty. That was definitely a place where I was like, okay, somebody can catch me on this pretty easily. Because I probably was only, I mean, with the transition, it was a 2:15, but I was a quick transition. There was nothing really to do. So it was probably right there around a 2:10 that I skied, which I don't think is great. I don't know too much about it. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's that you would lose some ground. Like, so at High Rocks, for example, like, I mean, Hunter's the best one in this hybrid racing field, but for 1,000, I think he was like 141 or 142 per 500. So like, and it's kind of strange. Did you move the damper?
I moved it to 5 because you said on your recap you moved it to 5. And I was like, okay, I have no sense of judgment. Like I did it before the race a little bit. I was like, okay, I'll just stay to 5 because that's what Rich did.
Did your core start feeling it?
Yeah.
It really does. It really does. It gets hard.
And forearms a little bit, you know.
Yeah. It can kind of put a hurting on you, like and pretty quick too. Like if you're not managing the effort right. So it sounded like you did the appropriate thing. It's just kind of like, let's just survive this thing.
Yeah.
Not
I said if I come out of that with a good lead, I'll have this wrapped up probably.
What'd you feel about the run after that?
I mean, I knew I was slowing down, Obviously, I knew I was slowing down a little bit, but I still felt like I'm fine. If I have to go faster right now, I could. Like if somebody comes right up on me, but I was definitely getting slower. The fatigue was starting to come in. Yeah, and like I mean, I've only had 4 or 5 quality workouts in the last 4 months. So
it's not super familiar.
Yeah.
You know what that feels like. And I mean, it slowed a little bit. You got to like 153 on that. And then you're able to kind of bring it back to 149 after the farmer's carry, which is just kind of a nuisance.
Yeah. But then if it's like 100-pound dumbbells,
then it would be something. 100-pound dumbbells are heavy because like the dumbbells, I think heavier kettlebells are a little bit easier because dumbbells are just like a funny.
Yeah.
Like they're not proportioned very well in terms of carrying. 100 pounds would be, people get hurt. People definitely get hurt.
60 is still just like you can jog with them, like it's fine.
And it's short enough that it really isn't going to stop anybody.
No.
So that is just that is a lot like the med ball sit-ups. Like you're not going to gain ground. If you make a mistake, you'll lose some ground, but that's like the only real way. Then it's the assault bike.
Yeah. Granddaddy of them all.
The granddaddy. How'd it go?
Yeah. I mean, it hurt, but I biked really well. I was like in the upper 70s for my RPM. So I biked really well being that fatigued. I mean, it was a 128, but that's counting the walk. I got in there and walked once I got in there because I wanted to control my heart rates, breathe a little bit. I slowed down my run right before and I walked in there, really took my time to set just, okay, we're going to go hard here. So I was probably right there under a 120 for my bike, and that's pretty good for like if I'm just kind of fresh too.
That's kind of where you need to be.
Yeah. I worked a lot of it probably the past year. My assault bike, because the stadium races I would get crushed. I would almost get anxiety going to the bike because I just wasn't used to that kind of pain. But now it's getting good. Yeah.
Because if you're upper 70s is that where you're kind of judging it on? Was the RPMs? Is that where you thought you'd be, or were you just kind of going on effort?
I was trying to go on RPMs. Yeah. Yeah.
That's solid. I mean, if you can hold that and maintain that, but then the run after it.
The run got me pretty good.
It's like you're underwater.
Yeah, run got me real. It took me like a whole lap to like get my stride back, I felt like.
Did you feel it like muscularly or were you not able to kind of get your breath? What was the most fatigue?
It was my breath, and then I just like I get hurt to like stride out. Like it just hurts. Everything just hurts. Yeah. And I couldn't breathe, it felt like.
It really is a game changer. That's that is the whole race there. And in this
female race, Lauren Stroud went in there with a solid lead. I mean, she was flying, like much faster probably than I was running. And she was flying. And she went in there with a solid lead. And then she came out 25 seconds behind or something like that. And she probably went in like 20 seconds ahead, or probably more than that. I mean, running wise, the two girls, I mean, Chris and Tara, they're great athletes, but Lauren's she's a runner, so she had a good lead on them.
So at least that's something that is in here to help the non-runners, the like high-end runners really kind of get something back, because that's the one, if there is a critique about DEKAFIT, it's like, okay, is it like, where is it an advantage for someone who's not just a really fast runner? Is the fastest runner always going to win this? Is that how these are going to play out? So it was good to see. I was excited for Tara. I saw that's a good win for her against like Lauren, who did have the record before. And it kind of boiled down to this assault bike. Were you worried? Were you at because I mean, when I did the assault bike, I was worried that I could lose a bunch of ground on it for a stronger guy like someone like Magida. And even though Mark, he's not a very big dude, he does a lot of assault bike work. He owns a gym and he does a lot of stuff like on that. I know he's on there a lot. Was there any doubt when you got on that thing, or you're like?
There really was. I mean, I had a good lead. I mean, I was like a lap ahead pretty much. So it would took a good effort for somebody to really do that. So no, there wasn't really any worried in me.
How about the last couple stations? Was it all just maintaining, getting through it?
Yeah. I did kind of shut down my run a little bit. Like I knew I was off the record pace, and then I knew I had to win, and then I just didn't want to blow up. there's no reason for me to, like, I don't know if that's a soft saying, but there's not a reason for me to like kill myself today, like, and I can still come out on top. Like, I'm gonna do that.
And that was the goal, right?
Yeah, still coming back. If I could shut it down early and keep some recovery, keep some of my engine in me, and like be able to train on Monday. Because I got other races. Like I trained through this race. I'm able to train on Monday. That was still the goal.
So ultimately, it was all accomplished. I mean, nothing extraordinary in the last couple of zones. You're just kind of like in the same spot.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't fast, it wasn't super slow. It was just all like us kind of got through it, and you're able to maintain. What was your total time? 32 something?
32:09.
32:09. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I was trying to find the freaking results on.
I can't find them.
They're not on Athlinks yet.
No.
Yeah. Athlinks is very hard to navigate Athlinks. Like it's really not that intuitive. It's not a very smart search, but it just doesn't seem like it's up.
No, I couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah. So how was your stomach?
It's good. The first lap, it started hurting. I don't know if I was just like crap, like I'm nervous. And then after the first lap, I was fine. No issue. Didn't think about it at all. I was absolutely fine. After the race, I had to go to the bathroom really bad. But during it, I was fine. I was ecstatic. Like, I mean, that was a big test, like in my training, I've had to stop mid-workouts, mid-training cycles and go to the bathroom.
Did you have the thing scoped out? Were you like, okay.
Yeah. If I had to go to the bathroom, I would have lost that race. Like, it's just not enough time. Yeah. But like, yeah, like I felt, and that was a real confidence booster. It helped that the race wasn't until 10:30, so I could kind of like flush everything out of me, eat my food real early, get it digested, and then be fine. So the next thing is like a real early morning race, which most of ours are, and the early mornings is why I had the most issues. So, hopefully adrenaline just always takes over.
And the more you get into your routine, the more you can kind of figure out how you're going to feel in different things. And like there was some travel involved here, so that's extra stress and like a lot of different things going against you. So it is pretty optimistic that you were able to kind of get through that whole race without any real issues, which is great. So I'm happy to hear that. What'd you think of the race in general?
I love it. I did love DEKA. Everybody can do DEKAFIT, which is awesome. But there's if anybody wants to like really go after it, like a top racer in the sport, I feel like that can get really competitive. I love DEKAFIT. I really do. I thought that was a great test of like overall fitness. Obviously the better runner probably going to win at the end of the day, but it makes it hurt in other places that you just don't get in like training.
What do you think that would be the biggest outside of running? I mean, we talked about the assault bike. Like, how do you think people are going to get really fast at this?
Well, I'm going to touch first on somebody who like is not the best runner, but can really compete. Preston Burnett. He's a guy, like I think his 5K time when he won Atlanta was up at the upper 18s, maybe low 19s, but he only ran 2 or 3 seconds slower than what I did at my place, my race. So that's a guy, and if you see him do burpees, if you see him do the assault bike or rower, or he makes up a ton of time there on the burpees and assault bike. So there is, and I mean, there is opportunity, but you just have to hit those stations and that's the thing. If you're not the best runner, you have to hit those stations super hard, and it's going to fatigue you on your runs even more. So
yeah. So, but I mean, I guess it's just a matter of like how fast you can maintain your output as a runner and still like incrementally get better at these zones. I had a hell of a time with Preston at freaking High Rocks. He would mash every station. Mash them all, and then I would catch him on the run, and then he'd mash the next station. Like he had his farmer's carry was like the fastest by a lot, and he like sprinted past me on the lunges. I was like, this freaking guy. So a guy like him is a good example. But like at the same time, if him and I were racing in a DEKA, there would be nothing there, like heavy lunges, for really have him kind of catch up. So you'd have to get like a lot faster,
Yeah.
You're gonna do more?
Yeah. I don't know when the one is in September, like the date actually, because I have a couple races in September that I'm already committed to. But
it's a weekend. It's a weekend that I'm away. It's actually in New Jersey. It's like a drive for me. but I can't make it. It's like September 11th, I think.
I
think.
Yeah, if it's September 11th, I have a race that day. I believe so. But yeah, I don't know how much faster somebody can get. Sub 30 is obviously very doable. I mean, you're in your great running shape, and you got close to that. So, but I don't know. There's going to be a point where we can't really get any better, and then it's going to go back to racing again.
I hope. Yeah, I hope it's just like a bunch of people come out and like there's a lot of good races and like it would be fun. Like the women's race seemed fun. Like they're all three of them were at the Ram burpees at the same time. That was crazy. I would love to have that, like, 5-7 dudes deep, just all hammering at every station. Yeah. So there's room for that if we can get more people in there. But you're right. There was just too many races this weekend. There was just too many people everywhere.
Which was good for me. That was my goal. Go win, get some confidence, see how the body does under stress, and then let's keep racing.
Did they give you the foam roller to keep?
They did. I forgot at my cousin's apartment. So
you just left it?
I just left it, yeah.
You're just like, I don't want this?
I just completely forgot. The flight was so early in the morning and we left, and then like I was on my flight. I went, I forgot my trophy.
Yeah, what are you even supposed to do with that? You have to like check that thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
It costs like $50 to fly home.
And knowing my cousin, I'm just not going to get that back.
That's gone.
Gone. And they're about to move apartments. It's whatever.
No, he's taking that out on the motorbike. He's going to see what kind of tricks he can do. I still haven't gotten mine. They said they're going to ship me mine.
Wow.
Don't have it.
Yeah, they gave us theirs. Yeah.
I don't think I necessarily want it though. I don't know where I'd put something like that.
Yeah.
I don't got no room for that. Well, Nick, man, I'm super pumped that you were able to get out there and hit it hard and take home the win. I was really excited to see that everything went well and that you were racing hard and you were after it. What I know last time we talked, you were kind of like, and this race in particular, even this race, you were kind of like, well, I'm not really going to make it a deal. I don't know. I'm just going to do it. And that you're kind of going to go like month to month in terms of like racing, but any idea what you got next?
Asheville, National Series.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Doing it. Let's do it, baby.
Yeah, do it.
All right, cool, man. Well, that'll be good. That'll be exciting. That's in about a month.
Yeah, so I said another month to get the hill legs under me, fitness. I mean, training's going great. Like, it really is. And I love it again. So that's all. I mean, if I'm loving what I'm doing, I'm going to be fine. I'll be just fine for that race.
There we go, baby. That's how we'll end it. There's no better note to end it on that, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time.
Are you going to do your own High Rocks recap or?
Yeah, I don't know when I'll do it, but I'll do it.
Okay.
I'm not going to. Because we're just trying to do little chunks here and there. But maybe I'll hit you up and be like, hey, do you want to talk High Rocks?
All right.
Because we have High Rocks to talk about. Cool, dude.
Yeah.